Tonight's DJNTV show is sponsored in part by Electro Voice, DJ Event Planner, ADJ, NLFX Professional, Promo Only, and DJNTV Insiders.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the PHDJ podcast. It's your boy Joe Bunn with my dude.
What's going on, everybody?
There
How we
he
doing?
is. That's Mike Walter, everybody.
We should mention two quick things. We are pre-recording, although we are pre-recording so many shows this summer. I have no idea when this one is going to drop anymore. I've lost track.
It could be the end of the world, and we'll still be putting out podcasts for you guys.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, what I like about this is you and I are traveling so much this summer between professional travel and also personal travel that I think this is going to drop sometime in mid-August. I don't even remember.
I think it's around the DJ Expo time.
Yeah, this might be the week of DJ Expo, but meanwhile it's late July when we're recording this. So we mentioned that just in case something happens significant in our industry, if Joe and I don't bring it up, that's why. And secondly, if you're watching this on video, I am in my office and I'm hand holding a microphone, but we had to record one from my office a few weeks ago, and I was really unhappy with the earbud quality, which makes sense. And I love these Electro Voice microphones so much, so I brought the microphone with me to the office. I just don't have the big contraption thing because I have that mounted on my desk in the basement, so I am hand holding a microphone, which looks cheesy, but most people listen to this anyway, so they wouldn't even know.
It sounds fantastic, though.
It does, right? What a quality difference.
It really does.
Yeah.
Shout out EV. Shout out EV. All right, guys. Well, so this episode will be and in fact, Mike, I saw today there was I don't even know if it was in DJ idea sharing, or maybe it was last night. It was on Facebook, and somebody had said something to the effect of they used the adjective cheesy line dances. We do things different or something, and it just started a whole thing that he probably didn't want to get into, where people were just infuriated with the word cheesy in front of the words line dances.
Well, I made an observation this morning on Facebook. So again, when this drops, it'll be like 3 weeks ago. But I was watching the video "Waiting on a Friend" by the Rolling Stones, and so Mick Jagger is dancing around and lip singing and wearing the colorful clothes, and they're walking down this New York City street, and Keith Richards is looking super cool and fly and almost kind of ignoring Mick. Right. And I thought to myself, those are the two types of DJs in our industry. Yeah. You are either outgoing and vivacious, and some people are going to say then cheesy, or you're super cool and you hardly ever smile, and you got that persona, which some people are going to say isn't fun. Right. And I think you and I'm a Mick, and I think you lean towards being a Keith. I've always been a Mick Jagger. Yeah. People can definitely put me in the cheesy category, and I'll accept that. I would prefer to do line dances. I like getting out on the dance floor. I like interacting with people. I smile. I don't think I'm good looking enough to be the brooding, super serious male model kind of look. And you, I think, trend towards you'd rather be Keith Richards. Is that a fair observation?
Yeah, fair observation, 100%. Right. I mean, I don't think I'm super good looking either, but I call it Serato face more than trying to give that that real structured jaw look. The real, what do you call it? Blue Steel from whatever that movie was with whatever his name is. But but I definitely don't get out there and lead them, but by all means, if it's on the playlist, or they said throw one in if requested, I mean, by no means am I going to argue with that.
Right.
I mean,
you'll do it kicking and screaming. You'd rather not. I do it gleefully and would rather. That's the big difference.
I'm not kicking and screaming though, Mike.
Yeah,
honestly.
you kind of.
I don't.
Let's be honest.
I don't love the song.
Come on, our listeners know you well enough by now, right? I think everyone knows. You'd rather see Cupid Shuffle on the do not play list. I'd rather see it on the playlist.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think, and listen, there there are Keith Richards fans and there are Mick Jagger fans. I think there are plenty of people who think Keith Richards is the soul of that band, and the coolest guy in that band, and one of the great guitarists of all time. And there are people who think Mick Jagger is one. Really, in my opinion, Mick Jagger set the paradigm for what a lead singer in a rock band can be. Most lead singers since Mick Jagger copy his moves. Now he'll readily admit he copied a lot from James Brown. Sure, but most lead singers of a rock band since Keith Richards copied.
Dude, it's not even a question. Exactly. Not even a question. And rightfully so. He is, by all intents and purposes, in the top, 4 or 5 frontmen of all time, of all music history,
and still doing it, and
still killing it.
Just turned 75, and when the Stones tour, what I respect about him, and I've talked about this in seminars, his fitness regimen is intense because he understands. Keith Richards can stand there basically in a 5x5 box all night and play guitar, whereas he has to work an entire arena.
It's not even an arena; it's a stadium. They're playing stadiums,
and some of their stages that they built through the years have him running up and down staircases and over bridges, things like that. So he starts training for one of their tours months and months in advance. So I respect that. But again, I have no problem being the Mick Jagger to your Keith Richards.
I love that. I love it. Sidebar, Mike, real quick, just caught a post of yours the other day. I want to say it sounds like you're coming to the end of a very long road with this book. So congratulations. I wasn't asked to read a copy, but anyway, just
were you a proofreader? Would you have caught some of the mistakes
I'm the king of grammar and typos.
I should have. Would you have given me the same price as Randy Bartlett?
Was it free.0?
Yeah, buy him dinner.
That was for you. Yes, not anybody else. But anyway, I would have liked to read it, but I'm excited to purchase it when it does come out. It sounds like you're a little ahead of where you wanted to be now. Just give
the holidays. It's the Today in Music book that I basically doled out for free on Facebook, one post a day for what was that, a year and a half ago. And I've made significant changes. So even if you read those as you go, I think you'll enjoy reading the book when it comes out. And just like I did with the post, I hope people take a year to read this book. I hope when you buy the book that you read one passage a morning, and then that basically sets your place for the day. That's what I mean? And I write that in the forward. I hope people don't plow through this book. I mean, you can. I mean, you certainly could read this book in a week or two. Yeah. But I hope that it sits on your nightstand or wherever on your Kindle if you're a digital reader, and every morning or every day you just read that daily post, because I think that's the best way to consume this information.
100%. Well, congrats, man. It sounds like
it will be ready by this holiday season. You'll be able to purchase it in time for Christmas and give it out as a Christmas gift. And I hope that's what people do. I hope people buy multiple copies, because I think if you have a music lover on your list, and they don't even have to be a DJ, I think this book will be perfect for them.
100%. 100%. Well, so the main topic, and the reason I started out talking about that post that I saw. What's but
he's lying.
The reason I started talking about that was because, and this is an article that came out July 14th. Mike sent it to me about 3 or 4 days ago, and we decided it would be a good topic. It's from 538.com. So 538.com. It looks like it's a part of ABC News, maybe their pop culture thing, but it is the title of the article is The Ultimate Playlist of Banned Wedding Songs. And it goes on to say, we're smack dab in the middle of wedding season. It says, we collected the testimonies of more than 24, that doesn't sound like a lot, professional DJs on nearly 200 weddings to find out what the most commonly prohibited.
Which, by the way, if you do that math, that's not a lot of weddings.
Yeah.
If you've got 24 DJs and they combine to do 200 weddings annually, even if that's annually, that's not a ton.
Great,
Although I do have to say, I don't know if you recognize Greg Holman is quoted prominently in this article.
Oh, I know Greg.
Greg is a fellow DJ. Yeah, you probably know him from the DJ Expo.
Yeah.
And has been involved significantly in the New Jersey disc jockey Jockey Network. And I'm proud of Greg. His quotes in this are really good. I think he represents our industry very well. So, Greg, I don't know if you're a listener of this podcast, but tip my hat to you. I think the quotes that they use from you, I think you represent our industry well.
So let me just I give you. It looks like they picked 11 songs here, and it's funny.
And they don't get much cheesier.
No, they don't. And I don't know
Chicken
that this
Dance,
is,
Cha-Cha Slide, Macarena, Cupid Shuffle, YMCA, Electric Slide, Hokey Pokey Wobble, Happy, which is kind of weird now. Happy, I guess, has crossed over from must play to what, super cheesy, and then Shout and Love Shack. It wraps up the list. So yeah, I mean, those are as overplayed and cheesy as possible.
That's not true. If you click under that, Mike, it goes
Show
on
more rows.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Right.
Jeez.
We Are Family, Blurred Lines. Yeah. So some of these are your all-time cheesy songs, like the Chicken Dance, and some of them, like Happy and Blurred Lines, are songs from the past couple years that got super popular and then basically got played out or overplayed, and so now have kind of crossed over. And I've seen that. I mean, I don't think I've seen it with Happy, but I've seen Blurred Lines on a fair number of do not play lists.
I have to. Yeah. But I think it was
and
more
also
because...
I think I mentioned this on a podcast. I've taken that out of my party playlist just because it does not have the same attraction that it had a year or so ago.
Sure.
I played that last couple times. I played it without it being requested. It didn't. I'm not saying it cleared my dance floor, but it didn't pop. And I just thought, okay, so I'm taking it out. It is no longer in my party playlist. I'll certainly play it if I'm requested, especially if the bride and groom requested, but I'm not, that's not one of my go-to songs anymore.
You know what, Mike, on that song, just in particular, I saw a lot of people, I think a lot of people had this kind of, especially after the whole Me Too movement, it almost seemed kind of, I don't want to say like rape culture, but there was some perpetuation of that through like certain groups. And I think
Blurred Lines certainly had that knock on it. I Know You Want It. I forget the exact, but there's another line in that song that, but listen, if you put most songs through the Me Too filter, most of them you can no longer play. You know what I mean? So at some point, being politically correct is going to kill our set list completely, and I hope we don't get to that point.
I agree with you on that. It comes out every once in a while, but it's not in like my major party banger list, like you said. So let's talk about this, Mike, because why did you send it to me? And I mean, what makes it interesting to you?
Well, I sent it to you because you and I are always looking for content, and I thought this was, I thought it was an interesting article. Because I got to be honest with you, some of the songs on here I still love. I mean, number 12 on this list is We Are Family. If We Are Family is not on my do not play list, I will often play it because I think it's a great celebration song. It is a great song for weddings because you've brought a bride and groom together and now everyone's
especially
one big
sisters,
family.
If you got sisters.
Exactly. It's a great sing-along song. So I readily admit it's played out. I understand that, but I don't think our job specifically is to avoid played out songs. It's to play songs that's going to connect with the largest portion of people in a room. And in my experience, We Are Family does that more often than it doesn't do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I will say that what's interesting about the music today, Mike, is that, and again, looking at this list, I mean, if you guys are, I've often talked about having a backup like on your phone or in Spotify of like the top 200 songs of all time, party songs of all time. And I think I usually pull that list from Mobile Beat if I'm not mistaken. And I always have that as my backup. And I've told the story before of when, it saved me when I had an iPod in one pocket and a phone in the other and was able to play off those when my gear was in a swamp. But anyway, you'll notice that a good majority of these, and it does look like, Mike, there's maybe 50 total on this list, something close to that, maybe 40, that, other than a couple, every one of these songs is on that top 200 list.
Exactly. Every one of these sons,
so
if you had
these
to
are the
play
band
at a party,
right,
they're going to get your party hopping, Now, are you going to be accused of being cheesy? Maybe, sure, certainly, but I think you're going to also throw a good party.
But I also noticed, Mike, that a lot of, as you and I have been in this for so long, and I mean, and I don't mean to sound this make old, even though we are older, we have seen I'm assuming I'm speaking on your behalf as well, a shift in the music as the years go by. So, for example, I've taken out, and I'm not necessarily taking it out because I think it's cheesy, but I don't play. It's pretty rare that I play "Celebration" by Kool and the Gang or "We Are Family," however, or "Love Shack." However, I still play, Temptations, whatever, "Ain't Too Proud to Beg," and Aretha Franklin, RESPECT. I don't play. I used to play "I Will Survive" all the time. I don't play that anymore, and I think that it's because of the gap. Now, granted, it makes sense for some, but think about it this way, Mike. Like, how big have these things come back in the last, let's say, 3 to 5 years for you? Wannabe Spice Girls, Bye 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 NSYNC, and
no doubt,
and Backstreet's Back,
right.
And it's because that bride that's 25 to 31 now, right, would have been what just entering her teens probably when those came out.
Yeah.
Or,
But now do the math for the other generation. Her parents.
Right.
And I don't know about you, but I want to play for the parents as much as I want to play for the bride and groom. Because
I'll never argue with that. Never argue with that.
Her parents were probably going to high school, college, clubs in the late 70s, early 80s. So if you hit them with a "We Are Family" celebration, that type of thing, I agree with you about "I Will Survive," but that has that's never been a prominent wedding song for me, just because the lyrics.
Well, let me throw these 2 or 3 out then that I used to always play, and almost back to back sometimes. How about like "Bust a Move," "It Takes Two," and "Wild Thing." Or Funky Cold Medina.
Of those, "It Takes Two" is the only one of those songs that's on my, like, I play it at almost every event.
I used to.
"Bust a Move," I don't, it's in my hip hop.
Because it even had that verse about,
Sure, when it was popular in the, what is that, late 80s, early
popular,
90s?
But popular from the resurgence?
First time around. No, first time around. But since so when I had it on vinyl and played it back in the day, yes. But since then, it's never been a popular song.
It was for me because it seemed to be the right.
So it went through that retro.
Yep.
It became, it's never done that and nor has the Tone Loc songs. And maybe I'm missing out on something. I've just never reintroduced "Wild Thing" or Funky Cold Medina. To me, they've just never been, let me reintroduce these.
Yeah. Somehow they made a resurgence here. There was that whole. It wasn't really old school, like as in Beastie Boys, Run DMC. It was whatever that era was. I guess that was the 80s.
The second generation of old school, if you.
Yeah.
How about "Can't Touch This"? The same thing, because that's from that same era.
Same thing. Yeah. It would have been in that same mix. In fact, they would have same.
Yeah, Ice Ice Baby has really never left my playlist. I've played that. I think that's always been part of that kind of sort of funny hip hop. I just played it Saturday night and it went over great. I agree.
It transcends like generations for some reason. I don't know if it's been in movies, perhaps, maybe that helped it. I don't know. There's something about it. I mean, you saw it, in March. I mean, whatever, 4 months ago, 5 months ago. I mean, every age DJ in that crowd was going nuts when he did that song. You know what I mean? And maybe it's him. You know what I mean? He's certainly charismatic. I think he's a cool guy. But so going back to this list, Mike, I think that I can agree, though, if polled, or if we were polled as a company, and I went back and looked at all the do not plays from the past 12 months, there's no doubt that this top 10 would have the top 8 would have probably be on there. Like Happy, I
would be on what?
On the do not playlist.
Yeah. Well, listen, I can say, I mean, Chicken Dance is often on my do not playlist.
Yeah.
Macarena, I don't think it's on my do not playlist because most people don't even think of it anymore.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, Cha Cha Slide and Cupid Shuffle. I would say half of the times, maybe slightly less than half of the time, my couple say no line dancing. So to me, if you tell me no line dancing, you don't even have to tell me no chicken slide and no electric slide or Cupid Shuffle because that's already been included in that umbrella ban of line dancing. So, but the other half, then they either ask for them or they don't mention either way, 6,
7. Yeah, sorry, I'm just counting. So really, out of the top 10, 8. Okay, so 8 of the top 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
are
6,
actual
7, 8
line dances.
The top 8 are all what I would call audience participation.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, Hokey Pokey is not a line dance, but it's certainly audience participation.
Correct. So
chicken dance, which is the number 1, and listen, I agree with the chicken dance being number 1. I've talked about this again on this on this podcast. I don't love doing the chicken dance. I have fun with it when I do it, but I have no problem not doing the chicken dance.
Right.
To me, that doesn't pack the dance floor like Cha Cha Slide, Cupid Shuffle, those type of songs. Even the wobble. I mean, if I'm struggling with a crowd and I can do the wobble, I know it's going to attract people to the dance floor, and then hopefully from there, my next song keeps them on the dance floor. That's the whole point of line dances.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you're playing 6 in a row. It's a.
Of course not. No, if you play 6 in a row, you're wasting the first 5. And the whole point of a line dance is to get some people on a dance floor, and then hopefully your next selection keeps them there. Yep, that's it.
Exactly.
Secret reveal. That's the whole point of a line dance.
That's right.
And then secondarily, if you are the type that gets on the dance floor and leads it, it kind of proves to everybody in the room that you are the party expert, that you can lead a line. Rather than just hitting play on the wobble and saying, okay, let's see you do the wobble, if you're the type that gets out on the dance floor and leads it, counts it off, and gets everybody going, then it also establishes for everybody that you are the party expert. So that's the secondary reason why I like line dances.
Well, Mike, remind me of this just while we're talking about it. And I know we've talked about this in our workshop before, and I can't remember if we do it the same or differently, or do you do it both ways? Do you usually go, excuse me, so would you go? Yeah,
that was did your voice just change there? Like a Brady Bunch like kind of moment?
Yeah, it's like my 13-year-old.
Wow.
I'm going into puberty, everybody.
Hey, good for you.
Would you go like Cupid Shuffle and then play it pretty much till it starts to fade, and then yay or nay whether you say, hey, we're going to slow it down now and then go into Wonderful Tonight or
to me, you've completely wasted a line dance.
Okay.
A line dance should be early in the dance set, or like you just said, as a change of direction. Okay. So maybe I'm doing some hip hop and I want to get into some dance music, so I use a line dance to kind of be the hinge song
segue
there. But yeah, I mean, I'll never forget doing the electric slide once, and the Mater D had told me like 20 minutes till dinner. Yeah. So I did the slide, and then halfway through he came up to me on the dance floor. He goes, "I'm sorry, the kitchen's ready now. You got to do it." And I got really pissed at him because I'm like, dude, the only reason I'm doing the electric slide right now is that you just told me I had 20 minutes. Yeah. Now I've completely wasted this party starter. So yeah, I mean, there's no reason to do a line dance and then slow it down. I think that's horrible programming.
Well, what about? Because I think I've done that. I mean, okay, so if I came out and I said, maybe I hit 3 songs and I played them maybe 2 minutes each, and then I hit a Cupid Shuffle or a Cha Cha Slide, and I felt like that was the point where I had gotten to exhaustion of that first set, and literally like I'm looking out, and especially here, like if we're outside and it's 80,000 degrees like it is right now, then I go to that slow song.
Well, then I would tell you that was a bad observation before you did the Cupid Shuffle, because I can usually tell when people are coming to an end as far as exhaustion.
So I went one song too far then?
Well, yeah, right, exactly. You should have slowed it down and then just reverse those two. Slow it down.
That's what I was going to ask
you. And then do Cupid Shuffle to pick it up.
Right. So coming out of thinking out loud, I go, whatever, clap, clap, clap.
Right.
I got you.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah,
I like
that's
that.
just my opinion.
No,
so, you know what I liked about this article? At the very end, it said something. I'm trying to find it here. That the average wedding that they polled, gave 5.5 no play requests. I'm fine with that. If I have a client that gives me 5 or 6 do not play songs, I'm okay with that. My biggest challenge is when a client gives you 50 and 48 of them are great dance songs. You know, it's I've used this analogy before. It's like walking into the kitchen of a restaurant and you know, taking 50 ingredients away and then saying to the chef, now cook me a great meal. He'd be like, what are you kidding me? I can't do that without these great ingredients. And I think sometimes clients do that to us. They take 50 of our best dance songs and then say, throw me a great party. And you're like, wait, you've just made it almost impossible. Right. So 5 or 6 do not play songs, I have absolutely no problem with.
I'm the same, Mike. I mean, in fact, I think I kind of plant that seed sometimes in the actual consultation, you know, the very first time we meet with the couple. And I'll show them how to use the online DJ event planner. And then I'll say something to the effect of, you know, we would love to get 15 to 20 songs that you really love here, and then 5 or 6 that you'll cut me if you hear on your wedding day.
Right. And you love that cut me analogy.
I love that analogy.
You love that.
And they laugh.
And the last sentence here I thought was very, I mean, this whole article is written very funny and snarkily and everything else.
Mike, can you remember when we post it? We'll try to remember, guys.
I'll try to remember to post the link. Yeah. But I'm sure if you Google the title of it, which is what the
ultimate playlist
of band wedding songs. The very last sentence he writes, in the end, perhaps people should be a little more forgiving of line dances and focus on what truly matters on their wedding day. Making sure that Love Shack and Rock Lobster are never played on the dance floor. I don't know why the guy hates the B-52s, but apparently
he really did.
Yeah, he skewers the B-52. So anyway, I thought it was an interesting article, something that, and one of those things that we as DJs need to be aware of, because not only does it matter internally, like you and I are discussing, but these are the types of things that our clients are reading. So just understand that when if the next 5 weddings that you meet with takes off all your line dances, it might have been because they saw this article. You know,
I agree, Mike. This was a good episode, man. But speaking of, did you catch that new Bieber song, DJ Khaled, No Brainer, came out on Friday?
Yeah, I did. I listened to it Friday. I don't remember it making an impression on me. So
it was okay. It's okay.
I'll have to.
I just can't. I don't know if it's going to be huge or what.
To me, the biggest thing is when I get a request for a song and I play it at an event. That's when I really analyze. I mean, I remember hearing Despacito the first time, and I was like, meh. And then it started packing my dance floors. And I'm like, oh, okay, I get it now.
I get it,
so,
right.
Yeah.
That's a good barometer. You're right.
Yeah.
When does it work out? Well, guys, that's pretty much it for this episode. At some point, we will be caught up. It's probably going to be...
We'll start recording live, quote unquote live again.
The day before it drops.
I don't really know that it matters to our listeners. Like, we're dropping good content. Hopefully,
I think it is. I tell you what, I will.
We just can't be as topical when we're recording.
That's right. If something crazy happens,
like you just mentioned, the new Bieber song.
That's true.
3 weeks from now, that's not going to be a new Bieber song
It's
anymore.
true.
But
That's true. I shouldn't have done that.
But 3 weeks from now, Rock Lobster and Love Shack will still be on most people's. Exactly.
Well, thanks, guys, for listening. Again, Mike is going to be doing many things at Mobile Beat Las Vegas. You're going to want to be there. And then the last couple of days, of course, the PHDJ Workshop, PHDJWorkshop.com. We want to see you guys there. As always, thanks for listening. And, Mike, thanks for being here with me.
Later, Joe. Have a good one.
Later.